Have you ever tried making a body cream and ended up with something that was either too greasy, too thin, or too thick, or just separates after a few days? Today, I'm going to show you how to make a simple brightening body cream from scratch using only few ingredients. And I'm deliberately keeping this formula simple. I'm not going to throw 15 different actives into one cream just to make the ingredient list look impressive. So, I'm going to show you the basic structure of a proper emulsion, where the ingredients go, and what you need to pay attention to when you're making it. For today's 100-gram batch, this is our formula. Now, you notice that we're not using a long list of expensive actives, right? And that's intentional. We're going to build a simple emulsion and use a small active system so you can actually see how the formulation comes together. And remember, when you're formulating, percentages matter a lot. A 100-gram batch makes the maths easy because, of course, 1% is 1 gram. Here is our vessel that we're going to be using. You can use any heat-resistant vessel that you have, but these are what we are going to be using. Now, do what I say. Don't do what I do, because I'm supposed to wear gloves, but for the sake of this video, I'm too lazy to put on gloves. So yeah, but make sure you're wearing gloves. Make sure you are disinfecting all of your workstation. This is my alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. So make sure you are disinfecting all of your work area, everything. I have cleaned already, but I'll just do that again. All right. Of course, we need a scale. You can use a kitchen scale. I am using this one. Okay. Now we're using water at 79.1%, but I have already deducted 10%, which is 10 grams of water, to use to dissolve our water soluble actives, which you will see eventually. So I'm going to add 89.1% or 89.1 grams of water into our heat resistant vessel. Now here's our water. Water is the main vehicle in this formula. We're also going to add glycerin as our humectant. We're going to add 3 grams of glycerin. Make sure you're tying your scale. This is a beginner friendly formula, by the way. So we're adding 3 grams of glycerin. Okay, so here we have 3 grams of glycerin, and then we're also going to add our EDTA. EDTA is a chelating agent that helps to bind certain metal ions that can otherwise affect your cosmetic formulations. So for our EDTA, we're going to add 0.1 gram. Now, this is why it is important to make sure you are using a scale. 0.1 gram is very tiny. When I mean tiny, I don't think my scale will pick it up. Now, I'm going to heat my water phase according to the processing requirement of the ingredients we're working with. Remember, each company or each ingredient is formulated specifically to a manufacturer's recommendation. So you have to understand where you're buying from and ask your manufacturer or your supplier what the usage rate and all of that is for the particular ingredients that you're using. So we're going to put this aside. and we're going to work on our phase B. Now get a separate vessel, and this is going to be our oil phase, and I'm using capric triglyceride. I always have issues pronouncing this ingredient name, so I just use CCT as my lightweight emollient, and we're going to use that at 5 grams. And then we also have Montanov 68. Now, Montanov is our emulsifier. The emulsifier is what allows us to create a stable cream from an oil phase and a water phase. Okay, so we are going to use Montanov 68 at 5 grams as well. I want both phases at a suitable processing temperature before bringing them together. So now we're going to take our oil phase and our water phase, and we're going to heat them to relatively almost the same temperature, which is between 75 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius. And then we're going to come back and create our emulsion. So here we have our water and our oil phase. We're going to check the temperature of our water. Let's see, we have it at 80 degrees Celsius. Now let's check our oil to see. We have it at 79. So that's a beautiful place to start. So we're going to pour our oil into our water. You can see we're creating our emulsion. Okay, so here we have our emulsion. It's still very hot, so it's going to be watery, of course, and we'll just allow it cool down, and then we continue to the cool down phase. So now we're moving into our cool down phase. We have this beaker, and these are our main actives and skin conditioning ingredients. So we're going to add 1 gram of panthenol, and that's 1 gram. Like I said earlier, you're going to make sure you are dissolving all of your active ingredients, in fact all of the ingredients, according to the supplier's specification. So depending on what manufacturer you're working with or where you buy your ingredients from, you should have a recommended method to dissolve your ingredients, right? So this is our panthenol, and we're going to add the 10 grams of water that we removed earlier. The 10 grams was removed from our water phase, so we're just adding it here to dissolve the ingredients. And then in here we will add our niacinamide. For niacinamide, we're working with 4 grams, which is 4%. We're going to dissolve it in here as well. We're working with 4 grams. So here we have 4 grams. And then we are also going to add our potassium metasalicylate. That's potassium 4 MSK. We're going to add that at 2%. That's 2 grams because we're working with a 100-gram batch. Yeah. So there we have 2 grams. And next we're going to try to dissolve it. And yes, it will dissolve clear, or it is supposed to dissolve clear. As you can see, it is clearing out. But for this, I'm going to leave it for a few hours. I don't want to put it on the stove. Now, one of the biggest mistakes beginners make is assuming that every ingredient can simply be thrown into the pot at any stage. That's not how professional formulation works. Every ingredient has properties you need to consider, things like solubility, temperature sensitivity, pH compatibility, and also stability. Now we're going to, if you can see, it's clearing out. It's just the panthenol that has caked that we need to allow to completely dissolve, but the MSK and the niacinamide has completely dissolved, and this is what you should be looking at. So we'll give the panthenol a few minutes or maybe hours to dissolve. And while we do that, this is our cream. This is what we have right now. So while that is dissolving, I'm going to go ahead and add our preservative. Now I'm adding Euxil PE 9010 at 0.8%. Because this is a water containing product, preservative is not optional, and I want to make an important distinction. Adding a preservative doesn't automatically mean that your product is commercially validated. Have that in mind. A proper manufacturing hygiene and appropriate preservation and microbiological testing still matters when it comes to products that you want to put into the market or sell to people. Now I'm going to take my pipette and then add a preservative at 0.8 grams. Okay. Okay. So we have that, and then we're going to go ahead and mix. We're going to mix this thoroughly. Okay, can you see that? This is a very lightweight cream. It's a lotion. It's a body lotion. It's not a cream, as you can see. It's a body lotion. So you can go ahead to add your xanthan gum as well to give it more body. If you want it to be thicker and like a cream, you can go ahead and add cetyl alcohol. Now, when you do that, make sure you are deducting from your water. Okay, so this is our cream. It is thickened up a whole lot. But like I said, this is a lotion. Let me not even say it's a cream. It's a lotion. Okay, so it's very lightweight. Now I'm going to go ahead to add my I'm going to go ahead to add the actives. That's the potassium 4 MSK and the niacinamide, and then I'm going to mix that up very well. Make sure you go ahead to adjust your pH. I did adjust my pH, but I didn't film it. I'm sorry. You're going to use your pH adjustment solution. So either your TEA or your citric acid. That's if it's acidic. We're aiming for a final pH that is appropriate for this formulation and compatible with our active and preservation system, right? So we're now sitting at approximately 5.7. That's what my reader said. So we want our pH to be between 5.5 to 6. That's a very good place to be, 5.5 to 6. Okay, this is our finished product. beautiful, very beautiful cream, and I'm going to store it in a jar. Now we're going to store it in this beautiful glass jar. It's very important to store your finished products in jars that are compatible and will help keep the integrity of the cream. So we're going to store this in this jar. And look at this beautiful texture. It's a very lightweight cream. You can also store this in a pump, but I don't have energy for pump, so we're going to store it in here. Now look at that beautiful cream, right? Can you see how beautiful this is? Look at the beauty. It's a very, very lightweight cream. So if you're someone who doesn't like products that are too creamy, this is something that you would want to do. Can you see how beautifully this glides on the skin? Now, if you're somebody who also you want to take this further and make it even better, you can go ahead to add dimethicone just for spreadability. But I don't think this camera is doing justice to how beautiful this cream actually applies. Like the feel, oh my god, it is so beautiful. Now see how beautiful this is. It is creamy, but because we're using CCT, which is caprylic triglyceride, as our main emollient, we've kept the formula relatively lightweight. And this is why I don't believe you need to throw 15 different products or 20 different ingredients into a product just to make it good. Now, before you run off and start making this beautiful formula and start selling it, there's something important you need to understand. A cream looking beautiful immediately after you've made it doesn't mean it's commercially ready, right? If you're developing a product for sale, you need to consider stability of the cream. You need to consider the microbiological safety of the cream. You need to consider the preservative system or efficacy. You need to consider the packaging, and basically run all the appropriate tests for your market. So treat today's formula as an educational formulation demonstration, not a shortcut around product development and testing, okay? If you look at the texture of the cream, it's creamy, but it doesn't have that extremely heavy butter-like feel, right? And remember, this is a simple formula. I deliberately didn't put 10 different brightening ingredients into it because more ingredients do not automatically mean the product is better. If you enjoyed this video, don't just stop at learning how to make one cream. The real skill is learning how to look at the product and understand why the formula was built the way it was built. Because once you have this skill, you can create products instead of constantly copying somebody else's recipe. I've put more information about my formulation training and resources in the description down below. If that's something that you want to learn properly, check the description and send us a message and we'll take you up from there. And if you've ever made a cream that separated, that became watery or completely changed texture after a few days, I would advise you to watch our upcoming video on why your your creams keep separating and formulation mistakes that cause it. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys